Hello and welcome to Middle Earth. So, if you do not know what Lord of the Rings is, and by this point I think it's fairly unlikely that you don't, here's the 5-second kind of summary for you. Over to the east, in a land called Mordor, which you'll see here, pretty much is all of this land. It is all ruled by the Dark Lord Sauron, who is been slain but still lives on in a spirit form, controlling all of his evil hordes over there, and he's kind of come back at this point because he was after the One Ring, which is held by a little hobbit all the way over here called Mr. Frodo. And basically the One Ring will allow him to become corporeal and darkness will fall over the world, that sort of stuff. Now, who are we going to be playing? We are going to be playing Aragorn. Aragorn is the heir of Isildur, who is the person who slayed Sauron in the previous war. Now, if you want to know how far away that was and how in-depth this mod is, let's start off here. Here's Aragorn, here's our little house, and oh, there we go. Just keep going back through the ages. Yep, there's a few of these people, and all the way back here somewhere, several generations past. Yep, we're getting there soon, we're getting there, getting there. Here's Isildur, all the way back here, which is about 3,000 years ago. So that's a fair amount back for Isildur. Now, Isildur had a problem in that he got the One Ring, and now most of my knowledge is based off the movies and not off the books, so if there's any difference, here's where I'm going to fall down. But I believe Isildur did not throw the ring in Mount Doom, which would have killed Sauron for good. He instead kept it, the ring was then lost, and it's gone through all of the ages to all around the place, and it eventually ended up with Frodo's uncle, I think, Mr. Bilbo Baggins. We can find him. I have no idea where I'm going to find him on this list, but yes, basically it ended up with a member of Frodo's family, who then gave it to Frodo. So that's roughly where we're at. That's my, 30-second Lord of the Rings catch-up. So, what exactly do we have and what are our objectives? We have this little bit of land up here. We currently control Dunadain, kind of this little bit of land. And you might be wondering, why is everything all grayed out? What's going on? Well, this mod has some interesting mechanics, which are a little bit different than you might expect. So if I click on one of these provinces here, you'll see that it looks like wilderness, basically. And that's what it is. What we can do is we can declare war on the wilderness to kind of settle into it. So we have to kind of push back the wilderness and push into things and grow our land that way, which I think is really cool. It's an interesting idea. It's a lot of this land is uninhabitable. A lot of this land is filled with just random things. So that's what we have to deal with. Now, there are some differences as well in this mod with combat. If I hover over our race here, you'll see that there's a little bit about what the kind of people we're playing are, but below it you get the cultural bonuses and malices. So in combat, each race basically has its own benefits and negatives. So you see here that we have great troop combat. That's because we're a Dunadain. Our troop combat is fantastic. Our troops are very efficient. But we have very small levies and we don't reinforce very quickly. So it's basically saying we're tough, we're strong, but there's not a lot of us and we're not there's not a lot more coming up behind us, basically. So that's a big thing for us, and also because we also have some racial bonuses. If we have a look at the bottom, where our organization is high, again our morale is high, we're really good and happy in fights. Fertility is a little bit lowered. Okay, so that's fine. So there's a little bit of interesting stuff going on over here. So if we were to go and have a look at, say, an elf, like in Rivendell, we'd see that they have different bonuses. So they have a lot more kind of bonuses in combat. Like some of them have similar bonuses, some of them have a lot more bonuses, but they don't have some of the same negatives that we have. In fact, actually, these ones are fairly similar to us, but they get extra combat in forest, which we don't get. If we have a look at, I have no idea where, Durin's Fort, yes, we have some dwarves here. You'll see that they have, again, different kind of stuff, although theirs are actually very similar to elves. I was trying to find someone who was completely different, but I guess I failed in that one. Anyway, dwarves get different bonuses again. Maybe hobbits? Do hobbits have a different one? I don't know if hobbits even get any bonuses or there you go. Hobbits, they're not very good at fighting. They're not very organized, but they still have the morale that we have. They're still ready to go for it. So that's roughly how this mod's gonna work. So before we get started, we have to go and sort out a bunch of stuff. Now, we are unmarried, but we have a couple of traits that are gonna explain that. First one, heir of Isildur. I don't know what none is. None plus 15. I have no idea. Maybe that's something related to an event. Maybe there's another modifier related in there. Not entirely sure, but basically we get more health because his line is strong, that sort of stuff. Vassals like us because we're, you know, a rightful heir kind of thing. You know, all of that's pretty good. We're also true blood of, what's that, Numnor? Anyway, that's probably got a proper pronunciation, which means that we have a lot more health, we live a lot longer, but our fertility's lowered. Makes sense because we live a lot longer. Otherwise, we just have tons of children running around. We have the broken sword of Elendil, which I believe was Isildur's sword. Maybe I'm wrong about that. See, this is where my lore is going to fail me, because there's so much lore in the Lord of the Rings universe that I'm just not going to get close to it in the series. He also has the Ring of Baradir, which is just a general good thing. Gives us some extra domain size, vassals like us, we're a little bit more learned, we're strong, more health. That actually gives us fertility that takes away from our negative fertility coming from the true blood. So that's all really good. We also, yeah, it's just generally quite good. We're agile, so we're nimble and quick. But here's the one I was talking about. The Vow of Seren Amroth. So basically, every month our influence goes up. I think influence replaces favor or piety. Yeah, I guess that must be it. No, influence replaces prestige. Okay, fair enough. But it lowers our fertility by 500 because we've said that we're going to marry Arwen. Obviously, we're not promised to marry Aragorn because we are Aragorn. I wonder where Arwen is right now. Whether we could get that going. Yeah, so we're searching for some characters to see who was in the game and who wasn't in the game. So I assume, yes, this will be the Arwen that we were talking about. She is the daughter of Lord Elrond of Rivendell, who we looked at earlier. And she holds the Elessar, also known as the Elfstone. It is an elven green gem set on a silver eagle-shaped brooch. It had the light of the sun within it, and those who looked through it saw everything that was aged and withered as young once more. Interesting. So we could try and get a marriage here. I wonder whether that is the game's just going to allow us. I would like to marry her. No, so we can't marry. That must be an event that does that. And he's also a healer. I'm not sure what healer does. It's interesting that that's a thing that can exist. So yeah, we can't marry right now, but that's fine because we also have all these positive health traits, so we're probably not going to die. We're also a great company member, which apparently means that we are amongst the most skilled in combat, which makes sense with our, you know, being an heir of Isildur, being agile and being strong. All of that works well for us. Composer, so we can do poems. That's neat. And we have decided to make a career on the sea at one point, I guess, so we're a mariner. Alright. Let's choose an ambition. Let's see what we want to do. Do we want to become King of Arthedain? I assume that's our de jure land around here. What is Arthedain? So that's not a lot of land that we'd have to take over to become King of Arthedain. That seems reasonable. Well, it says we currently control 4%. Am I perhaps not paying attention to it, right? Oh no, there's a lot of... The reason it says 4% is because the Shire has like a million small little things in here. So we'd have to take over the Shire, but that's possible. We're maybe not going to be that aggressive. Let's see what else we got here. Paragon of Virtue. We're a little bit far off from that. Exalted amongst men. Now that's very possible because we do have a lot of prestige coming in from some of these things down here. Build a war chest. That's again fairly possible. Let's go for Exalted amongst men. We'll get that fairly quickly, I think. Character focus, what are we thinking? Hunter seems reasonable, although that gives us more health. We don't necessarily need to go for more health. Family seems stupid because we don't have any. Carousing doesn't seem like us at all. War, possibly. We haven't really got into war yet. Hunting's definitely up there. Seduction and intrigue, not really. Theology and scholarship, not really. Business, not really. So it's kind of like rulership or hunting. I think hunting makes sense. It's kind of, you know, is a thing to do. Right, let's get our council set up. Our Chancellor is currently the best we have available. Our Marshal is the best we have available. Our Steward is the best we have available. Spymaster is not by far the best we have available. He has 21 Marshal. This guy has zero intrigue. He's a little bit of... Yeah, okay, I think I've worked out what I want to do. I want to put my Chancellor into Spymaster. Yeah, I think that's our first. Actually, that might do it by itself. If I just change position, so you are now my spy master. That's just better. That'll just do. That's about the best it needs to be. And our court chaplain, he's the best that he can be right now. Okay. I want you to go and, I guess, improve diplomatic relations with our most powerful vassal who isn't me. Everyone loves us at actually 100. Wow. We could fabricate some claims on the hobbits over here. This isn't even hobbit land. This is just human land. Haladanes, who get no bonuses in combat. So these are like the typical humans. They have no negatives, no positives. They're just humans. So we could fabricate some claims on them if we wanted to. I don't think I want to. We'd start sowing dissent in the lands of Mordor. That seems possible. Like just some lands that we're aiming for. Ideally, what I think our objectives are is basically to take down Mordor and to take over Gondor for ourselves, because we are, being the heir of Isildur, an heir to the crown of Gondor. So that makes sense. So what I think we do is we sow dissent on some of the Mordor ones down here, and we try and move north as our first move. So let's just go sow dissent. It's not necessarily going to be amazing, but if we can cause some troubles in there, it's going to be fine. It's not like either of the others do much for us, especially if we're going to settle first. Trained troops seems like a must, because we have so much levy reinforcement negatives that we just need the positives here. Collect taxes is always good. Scheming seems good as well, because it's just going to kind of keep things settled. And then we don't really need to convert anywhere right now, so I think we'll just research cultural tech. Seems reasonable. Then I'd be looking to go north straight away. I have no idea what the strength of this world, like whether going into wilderness gives us anything, or like gives us a challenge. I'm interested. How many men do we have? We only have 400, but we have 400 good men. It's be interesting. We could also head over to Weather Hills, which is a little bit smaller. That might be a good start, actually. So if I go and attack this, so we want to settle. There are conditions. Okay. We have to have 300 influence before we can start. Alright. If we have a look here, our religion has actually been replaced. There is no religion. There's only race now. So these are the people who control the important bits of our race. One of them being the Witch King, who is pretty much the most powerful person apart from the Dark Lord Sauron. So, yeah, it's a worrying person. Ideally, we'd want to get all of these places back as well. One of them is a wilderness. Interesting. Where is that? So that's over there. So we could try and get our ancestral lands back. That actually seems like a good start as well. This guy controls land over here. So he's an elf, I assume. Yes, he is an elf. So that's going to be difficult to get back if we want to get it back. We have this guy, our rival, the Steward of Gondor. Yes, we definitely want to take back that land from him in any way that we can. What options did we have there? Same options as normal. Okay. Wait, we do have a declare war option. We have a reason to declare war on him? Interesting. What do we have? Rivalry. Ah, yes, we could just try and throw him in the dungeon. Doesn't seem like the best plan right now. And then we have... Oh, he controls both. Gondor controls both of these ones over here. Well, that's fair enough. Right. Laws. We can change succession law right away if we want to. Primogeniture is the current law. Don't really care. Primogeniture seems fine. We probably don't... we don't have any children right now. It's going to take a long time before we have children, if we have any, so... No, that's fine. Agnatic, cognatic, or absolute cognatic. I don't really care on those ones. We can change other laws. We can change status of women a little bit if we wanted to. Council is not allowed to initiate voting for this type of law. It says, oh, what's council right now? Council's abolished, so we can just choose what we want. So we could push that up if we wanted. Okay. We could also change some of our administrations, which would open even more succession laws. But again, it doesn't really matter right this second. I think we probably want more vassal men, although I haven't seen how much money that we currently get. So I might just unpause the game and see how things go. Alright, let's unpause and see where everything's at. Okay. Everything's fine right now. Free Peoples. You're a member of the Free Peoples of Middle-earth and work with others to hold the shadows at bay. So we have gained the trait Guardian of Middle-earth. This character is a part of and working to aid the Free Peoples of Middle-earth. Seems fair enough. Get some diplomacy, some stewardship, and people who have that trait as well like us. That's good. That seems really good. Right, let's keep going. There are some story events, apparently. There is, in case you are playing this mod yourself, you go in here and you can go into Middle-earth events, and we can either surrender to the powers of evil. Doesn't seem like a great idea, personally. We can hunt for the One Ring, which might be worth doing, actually, if we got the money. We can try and visit the Elf Tower in the Undying Lands. We can show holders of artifacts, which, you know what, I'll do that to start with. So I can say, show me the Rings of Power. So the Elven Rings of Power, so that is Elrond, Gadriel, and Gandalf the Grey. And then we can do that again, and we can go Rings of Power, show me the Dwarven Rings. That's Sauron. He has the Dwarven Rings. And then we can go Great Blades and Legendary Swords. Gandalf has one. Famous Swords. Bilbo has one. Oh, there we go. There's Bilbo Baggins. He has Sting. This Nazgul holds one. Which one does he hold? The Morgul Blade. Okay, we've got Hithane holds Gutwin. And then Theoden holds Hurgrim. And then other legendary weapons are held by Sauron, who is... he holds the Staff of Sauron, obviously. Makes sense. Radagast holds the Staff of Radagast. Okay, and Gandalf holds the Staff of Gandalf. Oh, I'm good at this. And then we have broken weapons, which I think we hold one of. Yes, we hold the only broken weapon. Okay. And then if we go in here, there is also, we can visit the Elven Lands, try and glimpse the Undying Lands. We can try and increase our population, apparently. Ooh, that costs a lot of money. Everything seems to cost a lot of money, but this is what I was talking about. Playing the game yourself with an index, and it basically shows you what different mechanics are, which is very useful. What's this one? Oh, we can hide the Middle-earth decisions. We'll do that. That's fine. Who wants to marry who? So the king of the hillmen of the Angmar, up here, this is Mordor, wants to marry my courtier. That's very much a no. Oh, she has strong traces of the blood. Interesting. No, we're not getting any ties with Mordor. No, just no, not at all. Not happening. Nope. Don't even need to see what his message is. We don't need to worry about it. So yeah, there might be story events that draw us into the War of Mordor, but not right now. You managed to sow distrust. Ah, well done. I have no idea if that's going to do anything, but hopefully we can cause some troubles up there for a little bit. Any intriguey stuff we could do? Not right now. There are family decisions as well, but we don't have any. And festivity decisions, which we're not too worried about. We could plot on someone if we wanted to. Plot to kill the wilderness who is married to... Interesting. That's an odd little glitch. That the illness can marry to people. Wilderness can marry to people. Is there anything we could build? So we could build apothecaries, which would give us more money. That seems like a good idea. Seems like money's a thing that we're going to need a lot of for this mod, so we'll go into that a little bit early. Okay. Oh, you're still... oh, you got levy reinforcement rates. Ah, there we go. You stand on the brink. Sauron has recovered much of his former strength, and the fires of Mount Doom burn brighter than ever. His eye is upon you, and soon his preparations for war will be complete. You must stand firm against the coming darkness. These are dark times indeed. Yeah, so Sauron's basically building up. He's getting ready for war, and he's gonna kind of come over here and attack everybody. Starting with Gondor and moving into, like, the Isengard, into Rohan, wherever that is. It's somewhere. Somewhere on this map. Anyway. Apparently we're teaching this child, who is true blood of Númenor. Yeah, what do you want to do? We're not going to give up anything for him. We'll just let him make his own choices, which is now... That's fine. The White Stag. Oh, well, of course we'll go out and try and hunt the White Stag. As always. It's just a Crusader King's tradition at this point. What's this bit of land right there? I just know... Oh, that's water. Okay, that's fine. It just looked so similar to our land. I was like, is that ours? I don't think it is. I don't think these lands are ours. Oh, they are ours. We can have, like, odd bits of land all over the place, don't we? Yeah, it's a little odd. Huh. So we kind of control little bits in this forest down here. Okay. We're kind of a broken people at this point. Okay, where is Gandalf? Gandalf has not attended to his urgent business in the Shire, and you're beginning to worry. Perhaps you should go to Bree to see if there's any news of him there. I can say, no, I'm busy. I'm not going to do the plot today. Or I can go to the Prancing Pony. Let's go to the Prancing Pony. So we're now away with the Fellowship of the Ring. Seems like a good start. We have a regent in charge of our lands. And hopefully we'll get an event telling us what happens in Bree. There we go. A certain Mr. Underhill is drawing unnecessary attention to himself. And if he is who you suspect, I can try and get him to Rivendell safely. Or I can say, I see now that I want the ring for myself. It has come to me. Oh, okay. We could go completely off the rails and just take the one ring. I think we're going to go with the canon story right now. We're going to try and get Mr. Frodo to Rivendell. See how it goes. A new realm. Master, that's a name and a half. Radamsadez? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, has decided to abandon nomadic life and to settle down. So that is over here. He settled down. Fine. Doesn't really bother us right now, to be honest with you. You failed to elude your pursuers. The ring race have you surrounded, and they're going straight for Frodo. The odds seem hopeless, but Elendil. So we lose away from the Fellowship of the Ring. We can either become wounded or maimed, or I don't want to die. Run. So either way, we leave the Fellowship of the Ring right now. I think we'll attack. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We have become wounded. And then we've headed back to our home up here. And, oh, we got a sighting of the Great White Stag. Let's go find it. Just, you know, forget about the ring for a minute or two. Go and hunt some creatures. An epic hunt. We spent weeks in the wilderness searching for any traits of your prey, but you're forced to return empty-handed. You're sure no one's impressed by your failed adventure. So we either become humble or we can become arbitrary. No, we'll become humble. We'll get a little bit of humbleness going in here. Word quickly spreads to every corner of Middle-earth. Sauron has regained his ring. What? Oh, wow. Okay. What power now exists can stop him from unleashing a new age of darkness? Oh. So Sauron has the One Ring. So I thought that event was just kind of carrying on with the normal kind of canon storyline. But I guess things went a little off the rails and Sauron got the One Ring and Frodo didn't survive. Oh. Well, I think that's a good point to end the first episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, a subscribe, a comment, any kind of stuff like that, because it all helps the channel and helps with search ranking and such other things. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.